What's good, fam? Queen Common Sense back in the building. And what's good, fam? I just want to make sure everything okay. Yeah, we're muted over there. Making sure everything is in order because this is going to be a very different type of stream today because um, the past 2 years have been a very trying time for me and my family. And some of it you know, some of it you don't. I share some things and experiences kind of vaguely because I want to just protect our privacy and protect, my legacy. But this one is going to be much different because I feel it must be done to help people. That's why I started this channel in the first place, was to help people, share my personal experiences, share experiences that I have had others share with me in an anonymous fashion to protect them. Just share experiences that I have witnessed, that I see people going through, um, you know, and this channel wasn't planned. I've said this 152,000 times, but it seems like no matter what I say and how I say it, some people are just going to find a way to twist your words anyway. So that don't matter. What does matter is, I started this channel because, for one, it was a way to have fun with my daughter back in the day when she was in high school. Two, I enjoyed watching little stuff, to make me laugh, whatever. It's lots of stuff on here that you can find to get into, and then I have always been a DIY, do it yourself, life hack type of person. I like the organic lifestyle as much as possible when I'm able to do it. And back in Chicago, I started, my own online based consultation. And then I met a lovely, lovely spiritualist who I'm still very good, close friends with, who encouraged me to go public with my gifts of empathy, readings, cartomancy, things along those lines. And with my close, close, dear loved ones, I'm very transparent, and I don't have many people that are that close to me to know me very well. And I'm usually a person to stand on my own 2 feet. I really don't need anybody to vouch for me, unless it is business wise or educationally. If I need a reference for something like that, that's one thing. As far as my character, who I am, what I'm made of, I really don't need a peanut gallery or a pep squad. If people choose to say positive things about me, they do. If they choose to say negative things about me, they do. It's all in the way the world goes round. Number three, a lot of people just need a place to unload. They need a place, they need something to blame. They need a villain in their life. And no matter what they go through, they always put themselves in the place of a victim, and I used to catch myself doing that a lot when I was much younger. And as I grew up to understand more about life energy, karma, you know, my own choices, just things of that nature, keeping it real with myself was what turned everything around for me when I was about 21. I was waking up rapidly to how my family dynamic had been most of my life. And that's what got me into being passionate about psychology, studying the human brain, the human mind, the human body, and so forth. So I started my journey as many people already know, as a medical nurse. And that took off into many different directions of knowledge and of me making a living in different ways, to be able to support my family and be a healer. I knew, from a very young age that I would manifest into some type of healer, and Western medicine was my first start, where I got my feet wet, anatomy, so on. So I began to parlay and carve my own path in the healing category, because I knew I wanted to take a more spiritual approach to things. And I knew that Christianity was not the only way to self-divinate and channel into, you know, our universe, if you will. Some people call it God, Buddha, whatever you call it. I knew that Christianity was not the only avenue, we'll put it that way. So I began to explore different belief systems, different religions, different texts, different versions of the Bible and many other writings of spiritual nature. And I came across so many different things that made sense to me and resonated with me more than what we have been told through Christianity and other things. So, this is more along the lines of kind of drawing a little picture of why I do what I do on this channel, and why a lot of people look at it as toxic or negative or brings you down. Dysfunction can be blatant and can be subtle. And I know for me, my walk, and a lot of people share my story, very similar stories, they have been subtly programmed the majority of their life. And, when I talk to different people, in my profession and in my the same subject of study as myself, I hear a lot of similar parallels that are a thread that tie all of us together concerning dysfunction and unraveling the tangled snares and snarls of dysfunction, so that we can continue to evolve and heal and grow forward. And I've always said, my channel is not for everybody. My style is not for everybody. My delivery is not for everybody. I don't expect everybody to love me. And I definitely am not a whore for attention. So, I just am here to do me, be me, and try to grow to be the best me I can be. But just like anybody else, spiritualists are human too. We fuck up, we make mistakes, we make bad choices, we bump into people who are not good for us. We also come into contact and attract all kinds of lovely situations, people, opportunities, and energy. And I'm not one to, go through something and go run into tattle and tell somebody what I went through, because that's just how I grew up. I grew up not having much of a support system. Unfortunately, I was my own support. And from the age of 12, 13, emotionally, I was my own mama, and I didn't even know at that time that's what I was doing, because I was a child. And growing up, my main source of wisdom was my grandmother, and we were very close up until she transitioned when I was 22. And I've said this story before 100,000 million times, but I'm just revisiting it for a reason. And now the reason why I'm taking this journey is because even the strongest among us get tired, and we get sick and tired of being attacked, sick and tired of being targeted, sick and tired of being told we do not see what we see, if that makes sense. Most of my life, that gaslighting tactic has been done on me by someone who was supposed to be my number one caregiver, was my mama. Then the second impression of a woman that I had was my older sister, and she performed the same tactics of programming on me, because that's all they knew. growing up in the same house with the same parents, 18 years of that, when that's all you have exposure to and that's all that's all you know how to do until you learn different. And if you wake up and learn different when you know better, you are inclined to do better sometimes. Other times we stay stuck because some people, when they acknowledge change, they acknowledge their dysfunction. That means that you're required to change. Just like an apology. If you say that, if you apologize, then that requires you to change your behavior after the apology has been placed on the table and is accepted. So it's the same thing here for healing, pointing out the dysfunction, giving the warning signs, showing people kind of what to look for, knowing how to sidestep it, navigate around it or through it. Just like the old cliche goes, you got to go through something to get to something. So a lot of times we can't sidestep something that we just have to go through in order to grow and heal and evolve from certain things, and I don't totally blame my parents. Oh, I hate my mama, but they did the best they could with what they had and the access to information that they had at that time. They did the best they could, and back then, just like a lot now, Black families in America didn't really believe in therapy and didn't believe in bringing outsiders into their personal issues, family issues, marital issues. That's why a lot of times domestic issues and things like that are not taken seriously because of the past stigma that has been placed on that. It's easy for a woman to holler rape or abuse, and it's quickly believed. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is not true, because as a rape survivor and as a domestic violence survivor, the woman is rarely taken seriously the first time. That goes with stalking, that goes with harassment, sexual harassment, workplace harassment, any type of harassment done unto a female, especially a Black female in America. And now I'm seeing abroad more and more. It ain't nothing new under the sun. I've seen it before, but now it's becoming a pandemic of sorts. Whenever a woman reports something of a domestic nature, sexual nature, where she feels threatened or unsafe, it is never taken seriously for the first revelation, the first report. Almost never, unless she is bloody, injured visibly in some type of way. And even then, there is an air, a touch of victim blaming in those situations, even the severe ones. But I've always said I developed this mindset when I was in my early 30s, late 20s, early 30s, that I just don't make a very good victim. I don't make good prey.
Your device is connected.
And I personally just refuse to allow someone to bully me on any circumstances, whether it is in my own home or if I'm at work or if I am out and about shopping, in any setting. As a human being, knowing my worth and knowing who I am and how I've evolved to this point, I would be foolish to allow anyone to try to manipulate me without standing firm and protecting myself and speaking up for myself. And I've made lots and lots of these little videos, and some on Facebook, some here. I've appeared and talked with other people on their live streams and stuff like that, on their radio shows, because people like to hear what I have to say on one hand, and on other hand, some people just like to have something to have that they could pick apart. And I'm cool with all of that, because everybody has their right to express themselves however they want, whenever they want, whatever. Nobody is here to try to impose and impede upon anybody's freedom of speech, especially me. I'm the least one to do that. But I also am the least one to be a punk bitch. And I'm the least one to be preyed upon, slandered, lied on top of being bullied passively or aggressively, or be the butt of somebody's joke. That's not even on the list of things to do here on this platform or anywhere else I appear, in person or otherwise. And a lot of people come on here, and we already know they put on airs, they like to front, they like to fake and put on an act. And a lot of people think that people who have a backbone, that makes them a mean person, or a negative person, or some type of toxic person, because you refuse to accept the other people's abuse or neglect or disrespect. Every human being deserves to have human respect. So, that's just a little backstory of why I do what I do in the healing business, the spiritual business, the empath business, however you want to label it. I chose this journey, and I work hard, and I have worked hard to get to the point that I am now. And again, like I say, we're all human. We all fuck up. We all make mistakes. We all do things that we're not proud of. And I have never seen any other culture of people blame each other more than we have in my own culture. So-called Black nation, Black people, the children of the sun. It's very telling too, the programming and the dysfunctional upbringing that we all at some point have witnessed or experienced. And that's, again, let me highlight that is why I do what I do, because we need more healers who can identify intuitively dysfunctional pathology, so that we have the tools and the information to be able to help people heal on the other side. A lot of people lose sight of this because they get very selfish when they encounter people like me. There's many people like me out here, and there's many who definitely don't need to be on a spiritual path of being a healer because they're not authentic. And there are those who are authentic who get a bad rap because of the inauthentic people out here who give everybody a harder road to hoe. Now, this is a warning, because I found myself in this situation twice since I've been a resident of North Carolina. And the first time, I was ill prepared because it was an emergency why I moved here in the first place. And the second instance, I truly felt that I had connected with someone that I could network with, that I could also help and learn from going forward on my new venture to build and erect the butterfly totem. Gonna happen no matter what anybody does or says to me or about me. I am going to accomplish that. I've done it before with more hate than I have now. So I can do it again. It's just in a different state with different types of people, a different culture. So let me make that clear as well. And you know, once we rectified our family emergency after arriving here, I began to experience a string of really, really horrible psychic attacks, um, blatant outward character attacks as well, and usually they would come in threes, in threes. And I experienced people who were feeling, I don't know, I hate to use that passe word jealous, but that for lack of better terms right now, they were jealous of the dysfunctional attention that I was receiving. And little old me, I can see them a mile away, and I have a soft heart. So sometimes when I see someone in such excruciating pain in their spirit, it's hard for me to turn my back on those type of people because I know firsthand, how it feels. Because I didn't have that emotional support or that, clinical support that is available readily and available to us now the way it is now. I was pretty much my own shrink, if you will, through reading, being a bookworm, a nerd, a geek on behaviors, psychology, psychiatry, sociology. That's the type of stuff I was into growing up. I was a bookworm. I was a nerd. So I always was very fascinated with human behavior, human anatomy, how the body worked internally, externally, the emotions, what causes the brain to do what it does when we feel what we feel. Beg your pardon. Give me one moment, family. I am so sorry. Give me 1 second. Okay, I am sorry. That was important. I had to take that call. But yes, um, I was a nerd. I like books. I like to read. And I was very heavily teased for that, for being a bookworm, for having the right answers on the tests, for being a good student. I was called a brown noser, a kiss ass, fake, a fraud, all kind of stuff I was labeled as growing up as a young girl, wanting to learn, just having a passion for learning and knowledge. Got all kind of hate. And it was from my peers, my Black peers. And that's a lot of what translates into our adulthood. We all share the same journey in some way, shape, or form. So, I'm starting to see much of what I lived through in my childhood, in my adulthood, and not necessarily directed at me per se right now, but just in general, I see us still doing that same thing to each other as adults. Those of us who are focusing more on our highest, greatest good are getting more of the labels of being fakes and frauds, and those among us that are fakes and frauds are being supported, uplifted, and celebrated for exploiting our own people. We miss the boat, we miss the mark, we miss the point, we miss the whole objective of as to why we have such a blessing in access to platforms like this and many others of social media. We tend to overlook and undercut and discredit people who are more genuine and truly have others' best interests at heart because it's so foreign to us as a whole. It's foreign to have somebody show general kindness in the Black community because we are so used to trying to dodge bullets of being played, if you will. Trying to dodge bullets of trying to, avoid getting got, And we all have seen it and been through it and been there, done that, But I'm saying all that to say is, the reason why we find ourselves in such unbelievable bigger than life or situations that are just like mind blowing is because we don't trust ourselves all the time. And that old cliche is true. When something is too good to be true, it usually is. When people show you who they are, believe them. Now, by no means am I the best person on the face of this earth, and by no means am I the worst person on the face of this earth. But I do know that, I have the best intentions for anyone that I come in contact with. And whenever I decide to connect with someone, it's for positive reasons. And many don't share that. They don't share that same sentiment because, there are people who they don't subconsciously just want to use you simply because you are available and open and you have a kind, welcoming spirit. That don't make you a victim, but it does make you a target for being kind, warm, welcoming, open, and available, willing to be of some help, of public help, some way, shape, or form. So that is the other reason why I do what I do, for people to understand and develop the muscle on how to protect themselves from being a target. We find ourselves in desperate situations that calls for desperate measures. We have to pull deep from within ourselves to find the resources to be able to survive, to pull ourselves back up on our feet. Sometimes we have to reach out for help. Sometimes we have to reach deeper inside for help. Sometimes people come to our aid when we least expect it. And some people come along just to see how they can capitalize off of your vulnerable situation, even though you don't have anything really to offer but your time, your energy, and your damn sanity, if you got that. So this is very different from how I normally do my streams. I try to have a little fun here and there, and I try to, have a little seriousness there and here. We have a little goofiness. We go back and forth, have a little tug of war of wits here and there. My channel has a lot of different stuff on it. Mainly, it is me being me, showing that we need to heal the nation and identify the dysfunction in our communities, in our population of Black people, so that once we identify the problem, we can then start to heal and resolve the issues, because we cannot heal what we refuse to acknowledge. And if that's negative to some people, then again, this channel ain't for you. If it don't apply, let it fly. There's an X. You don't have to watch, listen, or participate. Just go on. We can part ways in a peaceful manner. Everybody can't do that though, because even though I'm not addressing anyone in particular, my videos really do hit home for a lot of people. And whether they openly confess to it or not, they get pissed off at me. And I can tell by the way they respond to me when they do bump into me, wherever it may be, person or in another venue or on another stream or in a comment section or wherever. People, I can tell by how people respond to me that something I said in some of my videos has struck a damn nerve. And I get it from all directions. I could be just sharing a general experience that I witnessed two people go through that I don't even know, but I pick up on it because I read energy. And then I could share it on a video and say, I saw this happen. This was what went down in this situation. This is my viewpoint on it. This is how I feel about it. And before you know it, I have people insinuating that I was speaking to them or at them in some type of way directly. And that's another telltale sign of a touch of mental illness. Because if I don't know you, or if I don't know you're watching, how in the blue hell will I know that you got offended by something I said? And then how do you translate that into me talking about you or to you? If we've never met, we've never had a conversation or a connection, but somehow, way, shape, or form, you turn that description or that video that I made about a certain situation into it about being about you. That ain't nothing but pure D crazy, as my grandmother used to say. I have had people come to me that I hadn't talked to in a stretch of time and tell me, well, I get these vibes from you. I said, well, we haven't talked in a while. I've been busy working on my thing over here. I'm sure you've been busy doing your thing, and we just haven't talked, Well, I get this certain feeling from you, so and so. Well, I mean, how can you get a feeling from someone that you do not have contact with and have not had contact with in a while? I don't understand. And why are you upset with me because we haven't talked in a while? If I tell you I've been busy, that's what it means. You see, that's why I made that video, Sorry Not Sorry, and a lot of people take offense to that because they feel it's directed precisely at them, when I'm speaking of how I feel and the experiences that I endured bring me to the feeling and the approach that I'm taking in my life journey, me. But somehow they make it about them. Isn't that something? I could share a personal conversation that I've had that turned into an experience. And some people will come to me months later and go, was you talking about me? No, I wasn't. I was talking about the experience that I had with someone unrelated to this channel. I mean, a lot of people feel like the only people that I talk to are the people that are online in this box that I use this machine to connect to on social media. Like, I don't have any connections outside of the connections I've made through social media. And it's really sad that people feel that way, because that is projection. I have real life connections that give me real life input, that guide me just like I guide others. I have a whole family to take care of. I have a whole life outside of social media. Contrary to what a lot of y'all motherfuckers want to trick yourself into believe. My whole existence does not revolve around social media, live streaming, people that I can't see and touch. I have tangible people in my life that I reach for, just like I do when I come on social media. I have connections. I have people I socialize with. I have people that I laugh with. I have people that I consult with and who consult with me. That's the way one's life should be. When you're growing, especially maturing in life, you should not just have one venue to socialize and network through. You should have several different venues. So you have several different types of experiences so that you can share several different types of connections, and you might help somebody along the way. So it is what it is. People like to make themselves more important to you than what they really are. And a lot of people like to feel like they're doing you a favor when they offer their services, and it's really not much more than what you can already do for yourself. And at the risk of that sounding ungrateful, it's really something that we all need to really understand about human nature, human behavior. If I'm already in a bad situation or a negative situation, and I take the assistance of someone else who claims that they can put me in a better situation, yet when you get into that situation, that new situation, and you take that invitation, you find out that you was better off before you got there, whether it was mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, or any other way. Because there's no price that you can put on your mental stability. There's no price that you can put on your peace of mind, your ability and the necessary and it being a necessity for you to be able to think clearly and be able to function to take yourself forward to the next step. See, and that's why I am here now doing this the way that I'm doing it, because this is a warning, especially to all seasoned, authentic spiritualists. And I've heard this story in many different ways happen to many different spiritualists on and offline. And it's really unfortunate, because that just even is a bigger testament to how many mentally ill people we got running around untreated and undiagnosed. Always trust yourself. Always trust yourself. When spirit, whatever you call it, I call it spirit. When spirit, your intuition tells you something and it's screaming inside of you, inside your mind, inside your heart, wherever, always trust that voice. And I've said it many, many times. And now I'm pointing my finger at myself first before I point it to anybody else. Always trust yourself. Take it from me, personal experience. Because that second situation that I spoke of earlier, that we just removed ourselves from, was that old fashioned wolf in sheep's clothing. And I don't even think the individual even knows that is what it is. They are so delusional. I really don't like doing shit like this, but I had to do this a couple of years ago with another gentleman, and I use that term loosely, who felt that they wanted to try to expose me for a fraud and a slut. See, and I'm a private person on purpose because A, it ain't just ain't everybody goddamn business. And B, keeps down a lot of drama, keeps a lot of bullshit out of my life. And I would recommend that for everybody to be more private with what you do and start to cut out the toxicity out of your circles, you know. And I really hate stooping below the belt, and I really hate really snatching the draws off of certain situations that I go through. But people sometimes force you to go in that direction because they just refuse to own their own part of the situations that they find themselves in with many different people. And they repeat the same cycles over and over again with different people expecting different results. And that is textbook insanity. When you keep doing the same thing over and over again, thinking that just because this is a different person, I'm going to get a different result with the same methods I used before. That speaks everything about the mental state of the doer and not the receiver. Especially when you have validation of those that live around these people, see them every day, have interacted with them for years, and the social pattern of behavior is the same. And then they encounter somebody like me who is not afraid of your hate, not afraid of your anger, not afraid of being called a liar, not afraid of being called a fraud, not afraid of being called fake, because that is what has been happened to me most of my life because of the upbringing that I had. I've said a million times, my mama was my biggest hater, you know. She is a covert narcissist. She's also masochistic, you know, so she has a codependent, narcissistic connection with my father. He's the sadist, she's the masochist. She's covert. So she needs a scapegoat to express her wrath and anger. So her scapegoat was me. Really, all of us, all four of her children, but mainly me because I was the youngest, so I was there with her the longest. But there are people out here that they really do not know that they have problems, okay? And when something is too good to be true, it is. It is. Excuse me, y'all. Give me 10 minutes. I'll be right back. We're going to put this on pause. All right, I'm back, y'all. Thank you for your patience. I'm back. Had to run, take care of something real quick. It's very, very important. Taking a peek at the chat here, I see Margaret Hendricks. Yes, I am Afro Queen, Queen Common Sense, Empath Angie, whatever. Thing two. Good afternoon. I remember her. Yeah, we were part of the wolf pack. I'm part of the wolf pack. It was a little term, cute term used to describe us, in a debate setting, So yeah, I'm part of the wolf pack. Been that way for years. Nothing has changed. So hey, everybody. Hey, Zen Zen. Yeah, it was pretty tough, but it made me a tougher woman. It wasn't easy, but hey, we don't ask for the cards we're dealt. We're just placed here. We're born into it. And we got to do what we got to do to try to heal from it. The idea is to raise children who don't have to recover from their childhood. But you know what? It happens. It happens when you are dealing with an abused culture of people. We were ripped from everything we knew, and lots of us were all brought here, and many of us who that were already here were forced into customs and cultures and ways of life that were not suiting to and not parallel with what we were used to. So that garners, that generational curse of paying forward the dysfunction, the abuse, the pain, the bitterness follows, if it's not addressed. And that's why I do what I do. People come over here and say, oh, she's so negative. She's so motherfucking bitter. She's so angry. She's so pissed. You need some dick? No. I'm serious about my work and my craft and the gifts that I have been given. It's not a goddamn laughing matter. Do I have a sense of humor? Yes, I do. And I laugh at myself more than I do anybody else. Because I know I'm not perfect, because I know I am a kick-ass, pretty cool gangster person to know. And I have worked hard to get to the age of 45 without being put in a hug me jacket. Okay. So yes, when I do my work, I'm goddamn serious, because I want to touch someone. I want to help someone. I want to do what for someone that was not done for me. I want to pay it forward. And it's not an easy slope to climb. And it's a thankless journey, and if anybody in this here business of healing, psychology, psychiatry, nursing, medicine of any type, it's a thankless job, and people are very, very, very ungrateful for what they get. And then the gifts that are placed right before their face, instead of taking advantage of those gifts and being grateful that they have access to someone who is willing to be 100 with them, instead they are so unused to that foreign that I told you about earlier, that I mentioned earlier, that foreign energy of kindness. I hate to say it, just hurts me so bad to know that this is a reality. Niggas do not know how to accept kindness because of that generational curse of gaslighting. Like Zen Zen said, that gaslighting is a total revolving mess. It's always one person's fault. Hello. Thank you. I'm glad some of y'all feel me. I really am, because it's got, hello. If we didn't know why, it would drive us all nuts. And I think those of us that don't quite understand why, that's why we get nuttier. Some of us, not all of us. We got people who are so goddamn petty. You got to have disclaimers to every fucking thing you say, because they can't take it from an objective point of view. They got to take it emotionally personal. Was you talking about me? No, motherfucker. I was talking about the situation and how it unfolded. And I'm indicating the dysfunction in those behaviors, so that we can see it for what the fuck it is, so we can go forward and alter our behavior, so we don't have another dysfunctional connection. Goddamn. But people love to be lied to. People like to have a serenade of bullshit laid at their feet. And I think I was saying something earlier about always trust yourself. This is a warning to all seasoned healers. I don't care what line of work it is, what category it falls under, especially us unorthodox healers, the ones that they call the devil, the ones that say we worship the devil. You know, I'm Native American. So a lot of Christians feel that that is an insult to the way they are using their on their path. It's an insult. You know, you don't believe like me, so you ain't shit, you evil because you're not Christian. And see, my beliefs teach and have taught me that no choice of religion is wrong. It's just the way in which it was introduced to the people is wrong because it was not thoroughly transparent and honest. See, and that's what a lot of people get fucked up with me, is because I'm honest to a fault. It's so hard to believe that this black bitch in America from Chicago could possibly be this open and transparent. It's not possible. This bitch gotta have some flaws. She gonna flip, switch out on me some kind of way. I'm gonna find some dirt on this bitch if it kills me. See, that's how niggas do each other. That's how we do each other. And it's really sad and it's frustrating too. It hurts. You know, it hurts your feelings because you see the hopelessness in that other person. You see the despair. You see how deeply they have been programmed and how stuck they are. And for the life of you, you cannot get them to see their true ambition. You can't get them to see their own fucking potential. They become stuck in a holding pattern, if you will. Zen 12 said, I have no need to pick anyone apart. I know myself and feel good about me. Yes, indeed. And that causes a problem in a lot of folk. A lot of folk. Black, white, green, purple, orange. Jealousy don't have no color but green. You know, no culture, no specification. Jealousy comes in all cultures. It's not gender specific. And when you feel good about yourself and you know who you are and you refuse to allow antibody to shit on you and yours, then that turns you into a shitty person automatically. Even though you have not violated this person in any way, shape, or form, justifiably violated them. It's due to their own internal insecurities and mistrust of them, their own self. They don't trust themselves. So therefore, it's hard for them to trust anybody else other than who they've known all their life. And then sometimes they don't even trust them, like their mama, sister, siblings. You know, if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust nobody. You're not going to want to give nobody the benefit of the doubt. You're not going to give it time to manifest. And that's why I'm here, because of that situation number 2 that I just got my family and myself out of. You know, and I'm glad it unfolded the way that it did, because the proof is in the pudding. You know, I don't have to shit on somebody else to make myself look better if a situation didn't pan out the way that I wanted it to or the way I had planned to. Usually people with ulterior motive to begin with, you know, when they begin with an ulterior motive and it doesn't come out the way that they wanted it to or planned for it to, then they turn around, all of a sudden they're the victim. They've been done wrong. They've been mistreated. They've been lied to. And then when you start to dig a little bit deeper in their psyche and their history of experiences with people in general, you see the pattern start to develop, and you start to link these chains together, and you come up don't have a trained eye, or if you're not paying attention and connected to your spirit self, whatever you call it, God, Buddha, Allah, Jesus, whoever you call it, okay? If you're not connected, all right, then you'll miss it. If you're not connected and grounded in this universal place that we call earth reality, then you're gonna miss it. You know, and I turned my nursing degree into a career of healing from a spiritual sense as well. And I got to know what the fuck I'm doing in order for people to take me seriously. You know, so I have to have what the system says is that paper, you know. And one thing I'm not going to do is sit back and let somebody discredit me after all the hard work that I have accomplished up until this point. All right. That goes male, female, elder, younger, white, black, purple, green, orange, yellow, blue. You know, one thing that pisses me off about a lot of black people is they can shit on you, turn it around, play the victim, and then turn around and say, you ain't shit. You a shitty person. And all that translates into is you ain't shit because you didn't do what I wanted you to do, and you didn't let me mistreat you or treat you the way I feel you deserve to be treated. See, it's not up to anybody else to determine how I feel I deserve to be treated. If my self-worth is high, then I have a high self-esteem or healthy self-esteem. And if my self-esteem tells me to tell my spirit self, I'm not going to take this shit off this person. Okay. Now, true enough, humility people mistake for weakness, or being ignorant, or being slow to the beat. And I can't say enough how many black males, not men, black males get it twisted when they're dealing with spiritual people who are open and honest and transparent about what they go through and what they know. A lot of black males feel that their money, their assets, their belongings, their things should then in turn purchase their respect from others. A lot of black males, mamas, have gassed their head up to the point where they're rendered useless to any other adult female that they may encounter or have any type of interest in any capacity, whether it's friendship, romantic connection, business, it doesn't matter. They have fucked them up. I'm just put it plain and simple. Enabling them to be useless bottom feeders in the whole picture scheme of things. And this isn't gender specific. It's females out there that do the same rancid, ratchet, rotten shit too. It's equal on both sides. So I'm here to tell you a warning to especially seasoned spiritualists. When something is too good to be true, it is. Trust yourself at all times. I learned my motherfucking lesson this time for the last damn time. Will anybody offer me what appears to be, what they illustrate to be a better situation that I'm currently in? Nobody can improve your situation for you but you. I'm put it like that. Nobody can improve your situation for you but you. And like I do all the time, I'm calling myself out. I fucked up, fam. I fucked up. Because when you see somebody that truly needs help just as much as you do, you're like, okay, this can work out. We both can help each other. We're all adults here. I know we both tired of going through what we've been going through. And we need a breakthrough here. So let's explore this avenue and see if it can work. And lo and behold, here I am back in the same position I was prior to taking the invitation in the first place. And this person know who the fuck I'm talking to because they still watching my videos, although they over there playing the fucking victim. I mean, I see everything in my third eye. I don't have to go behind anybody back. I don't have to talk shit or talk down on nobody. If I'm pissed off at you, I'm going to tell you to your fucking face and I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not one to harbor shit. And if you ask me to be real with you, that's what I'm going to do, whether you like it or not. And if that means you need to invite me out of your space or out of your existence, out of your life, whatever the fuck it is, so be it. But I know before I left that motherfucker, I did not lie. That's what I will know going forward. You're right, Zen Zen, it is a pandemic. God damn it, it is. So, people pick and they try to pick and reach for justifiable reasons to shit on you. When I first started this channel, oh, you ain't no damn lady, you ugly bitch, you cussing, you can't possibly be no lady, ignorant bitch, you don't have no education, hoe. These motherfuckers ain't met me, don't know me from the paint on the walls in their house, okay? They know the paint on the walls better than they know me. But they can come up with all that to justify coming at me and disrespecting me. You see how niggas do? And then when you turn it around and you examine these people that come for you, you find out that that's really how they feel about themselves. See? Because I can back up anything that I say about myself. I can back it up with proof. Okay? So I don't have to fraud anybody. I don't have to lie to anybody. I definitely don't have to invent no damn story for anybody to have empathy, pity, sympathy on me. That's the last thing I want is somebody's sympathy because I'm not sorry. I might be sensitive, but I'm definitely not sorry. And with my talents, gifts, and treasures and knowledge base, I'm far from a broke bitch, okay? Money does not determine one's wealth, okay? Let's just make that clear. Very clear. And that's what this person seems to feel they have done me a favor by offering me a quote unquote better situation that I was in. Now, the initial plan that we had didn't work out because they wanted to take me from my current housing situation and put me in a situation where there was nothing but health hazards. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go into sordid details about it. I'm just going to give a rough draft, Cliff Notes version of the damn journey that I had with this person who swore up and down they came bearing the white flag and a basket of fruit. So when someone says, you know what, I have an idea that can help, that's going to work out, that we can work this out so to help you and then you can help me with what I need and we'll help each other and this X amount of time. And then after that X amount of time, we happily go our separate ways. Boom. It don't never work out like that. Because usually the person offering, usually, not all the time, because I'm one of the people who offer help and I don't have any ulterior motive. Usually when they offer multiple times, they have an ulterior motive. And they think that you're not going to catch it because you're desperate. And a lot of people get it twisted. They get caught up in their feelings and then they forget that they're talking to a psychic empath. And then when we still can see and read through those emotions that are clouding their better judgment, they get even more pissed because they can't paint me into a corner with their emotional gaslighting tactics or emotional passive aggressive bullying, harassment. However subtle it is. So that first option didn't work out because I don't know any family that would be willing to move into a moldy residence. That not to mention wasn't moldy. It was filled with filth and it had been owned by a previous hoarder. So not only did this person expect us to live in filth and call it help, they felt that it was ungrateful of us to not want to expose our family to mold spores. Not to mention, let me remind you, I have an autistic son who has neurological sensitivities. Okay. So the second option was under the same roof as roommates for a period of 90 days in exchange for my spiritual work and help and assistance and knowledge and teachings and coachings. Then I could gain my footing again because I had an employer before I left Fayetteville. That employer didn't pan out because they would not contact me back so that I can gain access to work. And everybody that knows me knows that I have been a virtual online employer of many Fortune 500 companies for the past 5 years. So when I moved to North Carolina, I had a virtual employer with a Fortune 500 company. Actually, I had 2 employers. That particular company did a company-wide downsizing. So after a tenure of 3 years, I lost my job the very same year that I moved to NC. So that put me in a very tough bind because, like I said, it was an emergency move. So fast forward to October 15th is when we landed with this wolf in sheep clothing. Now, 3 days in, October 18th, this particular individual had began the grooming phases of abuse, mental, psychological abuse. And I picked up on it immediately because A, I grew up like that. B, I married somebody like that, divorced them, thank God now. And C, I'm a studying psychologist. So it's easy to see the signs. So I said on October 18th, if we have to have this type of energy exchange, it's not going to work. Clearly you have your way of living, we have ours. And it's not blending. It's not blending. So point us to where we can go for an alternate housing choice. This person, they refuse. No. Okay. Let's give it 30 days. Let's try that. First, it was everything is cool. The fourth day came the next level of grooming. They began to exert their control tactics. I can't mentally break you. So now I'm going to start to emotionally, no, I'm sorry. You can emotionally break you. So I'm going to start trying to mentally break you. Drawing boundaries. There's nothing wrong with healthy boundaries, but when it's to the point where these boundaries are being enforced multiple times a day, every day, nonstop, that's a problem when you're dealing with all adults. So, without going deeper into it, I'm a person who, I've been on my own for a minute, ever since I was 17, before I even had children. So I know, a woman that don't work, don't eat. And I'm not one to go all around places without no money, because when I'm broke or I don't have a job, I believe I should keep my ass at home until I get the money that I need in my own pocket to be able to pay for what the fuck I want. That's how I am. Now, a lot of Black males find that hard to believe, that there are Black women who don't want their motherfucking money, and their money does not impress them, nor does their ability to do the same basic shit that they can do for themselves. I can do the same shit. So we're not in a competition here. We're just trying to survive. So time goes on with this daily passive aggressive grooming. And then came the triangulation. And when you fuck with my family, you fucking with me. So whether my sons are grown or not, they are still my sons, and you will not utilize them to try to get to control me. Especially the one with autism. Okay? That's a real low level thing to do. Is pick on someone less vulnerable, more vulnerable than you, who is vulnerable, yet you want to utilize them for your tool of grooming their mother. It's really sick. And I said before, crazy people don't know they're crazy. Okay. And this person didn't do it to my youngest son, who does not have any challenges. They only did it with the one who has Asperger. You know, my mama has done that to me before. You know, my sister has done that. You know, these type of people, they prey on who they think is weaker, who they can get over on, who they can trick. And the minute you underestimate somebody is the minute that you lose. So this went on for approximately 6 weeks. And several times we offered to skedaddle, you know. Now, we put in our part, you know. I'm an OCD fanatic, you know, and I told this person, I said, you know, I'm not going to be able to do this type of cleaning after I get my jobs lined up. So it's going to have to be, you know, some changes. This person agreed. You know, this person initiated and said, I'd like to see others pitch in more because you're actually doing too much. And that's just how I am. When I'm not productive, I clean. That's just how I am. I've been that way ever since I was on my own. When I got my first apartment, I realized I had OCD. And that was from the childhood that I had. You know, having a narcissistic mama. So I explained that to him several times. And then we went from that to where, you know, it was a whirlwind of things that were coming. You know, and everybody knows that after you move, you know, and it's a long distance move, that takes a lot out of you. So I was trying to really just rest my mind, you know, get reconnected with my boys, kind of get them calmed down and get a rhythm going so that we all could dig in and find a job. This did not suit the agenda of our host. So then I was, you know, at the last minute expected to attend this function. And I figured, you know, it was a nice gesture for our host to bring us here. You know, the least I can do is accommodate that request so we can take care of this function. And many of you seen me say the witch's ball on my channel. So we attended the witch's ball. We erected a booth. And we sat at the witch's ball, and it was a lovely event. However, it was very awkward for me because, you know, I am personally not on the market, if you catch my drift. And toward the end of that function and during that function, I got these strong vibes that instead of this being a networking opportunity for Empath Angie and the likes of our host learning more about the occult and people in the occult who practice the occult. This was less about that and more about trying to turn it into something that it really wasn't set out to be initially. So me being me, the next day I put that on the table for discussion. And it wasn't a pleasant experience for the host. And I could tell right then, I said, yeah, this is not going to turn out well. There's control issues. There's manipulation. There is embarrassment. There's shame here because I done snatched the veil off of what the fuck the real motive was for us coming up here under an invitation, the guise of helping. See, a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. They come to you and say, I just want to help. And they have ulterior motive. Because they want something out of it. And see, that's not what help is. If you're going to help somebody, then help them. When you have expectations after giving help, that's why shit goes straight down the toilet and it don't come out the way that it should, or was as planned, I should say. It doesn't come out as planned because you have expectation for helping someone. Now, I've never really had a roommate per se because I've always held my own ever since I was 17. So this was a new experience for me, just like it probably was for our host, However, everything was transparent, crystal clear before we even made the decision to accept the invitation from that host. Okay? However, boundaries kept getting pushed. And whenever I would realign those boundaries, then there became the tit for tat tug of war. Well, you have these boundaries, so I'm going to have these boundaries. And I'm going to keep making my boundaries more intense than your boundaries because you won't let me violate your boundaries. I hope that makes sense. That's what the fuck it was. Now, within 3 weeks, the first 3 weeks of me residing with the host, I had acquired 2 jobs. Okay. So by the time we moved 3 hours from Fayetteville up to the second location, I was hired for 2 jobs on one day. Now, the day that I began to start working those jobs, guess what? The host made it increasingly impossible to focus. Not only did I lose wages from my employers, I lost clientele through Empath Angie Butterfly Totem because of the background noise and the unbearable environment. And this would occur coincidentally whenever I was on the phone working or with a client. And see, this host, doesn't want to own up to the fact that they created a very hostile environment and felt entitled to do so because they don't like to hear the truth. And that's what spiritualists do. We tell you the truth, whether it's through the cards, through the ruins, through the bones, through the stones, the crystals, or whatever. We are obligated to tell the truth. So time goes on, week 4, 5, and 6, with multiple discussions of this tug of war of boundaries. And this host continued to make it increasingly uncomfortable. And we understood why. Because when there's no control, then there's chaos. If I can't control you, I'm going to make you uncomfortable, so you'll want to leave. So I said, well, we're new to this area. If you give us some resources and point us in a direction, we can go, we'll go somewhere and find and regroup elsewhere so you can have your establishment back to yourself. Now, this host assured us everything was okay once we got Nisi Poo out of there, because Nisi Poo was being a headache. Okay. Nisi Poo caused a lot of problems. So we had to get Nisi Poo out of there, send her back to her people. That was the main headache that I had. As much as I love her, like I say, just because they dress for the part don't mean they can always go with you. Now, Niecy Pooh wasn't doing nothing but being lazy, which is not acceptable. Very obstinate. A person like me, I can deal with it, but usually severely mentally ill people, they can't deal with that type of overstimulation when it comes to, defiant young people, young adults. And then when you have control issues, that makes it worse when you have a defiant person. So, Niecy Pooh had to go. Did that. After several hours of discussion after Niecy Pooh left, she was gone 5 days. And before those 5 days transpired, everybody was on the same page. Everybody was okay. Now we can go forward with peace and get some things accomplished. So, within those 5 days, I had garnered about a handful of readings, about 5, maybe 7 readings. And that was for, our little stuff, cigarettes, cigarette lighters, little shit, that you just have a vice, whatever it is. Because I had lost 2 jobs. So that was my only means of really making any income, because the living environment was so unbearable. I couldn't take a shower without hearing footsteps outside the door. I couldn't talk on the phone without footsteps outside the window. I couldn't do any rituals without being accused of something that I wasn't doing. The first 2-3 days, for example, the person's mother burst into the quarters where we were sleeping out of nowhere. Why? Because she couldn't get me or force me to explain my backstory to her. She was demanding answers that were none of her business. And of course, usually with people who are mentally ill, when you tell them no, that creates a landslide of dysfunctional retaliation. And that's what that was. Her bursting into the room the following day after our conversation was her dysfunctional retribution for me. And that's what most narcissistic mamas do. They feel that their son is their property, And when they cannot control their son or daughter, then they want to control anything and everybody that there might be connected to take this narcissistic supply away from the parent. So that's what was happening. That was that pole pattern starting to establish itself. And same thing, same rule apply. Hurt people, hurt people. I was controlled all of my life. So I have someone to control, if that makes sense. We were the targets of that control. But little did our host know that I'm a real one. I don't have to put on the camera, because off camera, I'm the same way. I don't think that person bargained for that, nor do I feel they understood what it means when someone says, I am a psychologist. I have training in this, and I know when the signs appear for grooming. I know when I'm being groomed. I know when I'm being, a part of a dysfunctional pattern of behavior. I know this. And I started to see the host repeat the same behaviors as his mama. So I pointed that out too. You know, I don't bite my tongue. If you say keep it real with me, I'm going to keep it real with you. And if you don't like it, don't shoot the messenger. You want honesty, I'm going to give it to you. You know, and it's not my fault that the host was not mature enough to see it objectively, because they got distracted on focusing on control versus the real reason why we connected as roommates in the first place was for me to assist him in enlightening his journey, spiritual journey, and for me to have a place to regroup and restack my paper in conjunction with investing in where I live, which is what I do anywhere I go. I have references. So it always is what they say it ain't. So when I confronted him about the witch's ball, and I said, you know, it almost seemed like you was trying to turn this into a date. And I don't get down like that. Now, prior to this incident, I had to draw that boundary again before we departed Fayetteville. I had to remind him what those boundaries were. And that's when I started getting nervous, and I started to ignore my intuition. And that was my fucked up fault. I fucked up. That was me. That was all on me. Because before we even left the ground in Fayetteville to take the journey, boundaries were disrespected. And that's my fault for overlooking that shit, because I was desperate to improve the situation for my two sons. So when you're desperate, sometimes you fuck up and make really fucked up choices. Now, back to the boundaries, drawn boundaries. I drew them boundaries about 4 times in the course of 6 weeks. Now, somebody that is trying to help you and do something positive for you, they're not going to be all up in your personal business with your personal relationship. If you have a romantic relationship with someone else, usually friends, they're not going to try to pry in that unless you invite them to do so. And that's another problem. A lot of Black males don't know how to have a platonic female friend. A lot of Black males have to sexually validate women before they can garner them any type of human respect. So we have a compiled list here of unpleasantries. How dare you draw the boundaries? You are living in my house. If I want to know or do or say something to offend you or disrespect you, I have every right to, because you are at my mercy. And those were the exact words. I'm not at anybody's mercy just because I am in your home, because I have skills and knowledge and understanding on how to get off my ass and take care of myself, which I had been doing prior to taking this invitation. And then we discovered very shortly after arriving that our previous situation was much better than our subsequent situation that we were invited to. And again, I point the finger at myself. I fucked up there. That was my fault. Because we were all desperate to try to alter and improve fucked up. So I'm sharing my situation and my experience to help somebody else avoid having to go through this shit. You can twist it however you want, take it however you want. But my sole purpose of sharing my story, my experience, is to help somebody else who might run across an individual like this. Now, that's right, Zen crazy making tactics. LaMarcus Bryant, why don't you go ask LA why he's doing a hangout for that reason, dear? LA is doing that, so you need to ask the person that it is doing it. Does that make sense? Zen, yes it is. Yes, it's when someone harms you and act as though you're to blame the perpetrator. Crazy making tactics. Exactly. And that's exactly what went down, Zen. And I normally, like I said, I don't like this shit. I don't like having to go into damn sordid fucking detail about some shit that somebody did, some dumb shit they did, and I can see right through it, and then have to turn around and go blow for blow on what the fuck happened to outline it for other people so they can not have to go through it. I like to share things and like to tell a story and get it over with and be done with it, because I can deal with it behind the scenes. Like nobody would have known at all what I was going through if I had never said nothing. But when this person starts going around slandering me, lying on me, telling other people his fucked up ass story, and then projecting everything that he did onto us, that's a whole nother ballgame, because not only do I have a family to protect, number one, number two, I have a business I'm trying to grow and protect and a reputation, and I have never had any complaints of any of my clients, past or present, until I met this particular person. What's up, Silent J Mister? Please excuse the content today, y'all. It's really fucked up and foul, and I just really don't like doing this shit. But I'm at a point in my life where I am tired of petty niggas and petty nigga shit. And when you reach a certain age in your life and stage in your life, the petty shit should be gone, or you growing beyond it sooner than later, if that makes sense. I see so many overgrown motherfuckers still stuck in their adolescence playing fucking victim when somebody say something they don't like or tell them the truth that they never heard. The raw, butt naked, unadulterated truth don't never sit well with somebody that is delusional. And they have to reach to find any justification. Revenge. You know what? You said this fucked up shit to me. Ain't nobody ever told me that before. How dare you say that to me? Fuck you. Get the fuck out. And I see that more in males than I do females. Control like that. Those type of control issues. Now, females do have control issues, but it's more along the lines of emotional bullying, manipulation, emotional and mental manipulation is how females use their control tactics. Men like to use force, if you don't comply, then here's your punishment, consequential punishment, these are my stipulations and you don't follow them, then you gonna pay. So it's never about what it's about when you're dealing with people with control issues and who have sociopathic tendencies. They also use buzzwords within the discussion. If you're having a discrepancy or disagreement, they use buzzwords that you use to describe them, because now he running around using the word sociopath because that's what I told him he is. Silent J Mister said, I don't understand how males try to control, but they are betas. Shake my damn head. I don't either, and I really don't like labeling people beta niggas and bitches and beta, but it's true. That's the best way you can describe it, just for descriptive purposes. And if you are alpha, then you don't have the desire to have to make a litany of rules to follow or, take offense to someone giving you constructive criticism after you have asked them to be honest with you, to turn what could have been a very positive outcome into a very hostile experience by your own self-doubt. And then you have to turn around and invent a story, because I have, if I really want to be low down and dirty, I have text upon text, email upon email from this person to illustrate the behavior that I'm describing to you. If I said it, then it motherfucking happened. I don't have no reason to lie or edit or remove bits and pieces of the reality of what the fuck I went through. None at all. Because we in the situation. So what does it profit me to alter the facts of what happened when it's still a fucked up situation either way it go? Whether I put flowers or shit on it, it's still gonna be a fucked up situation. See, when you know yourself and you're sure of yourself, you don't have to lie about shit, good or bad. And it's not my fucking fault that this person got something that they didn't bargain for. Silent J Mister said, how can you try to control, but you are not contributing to the situation? Well, in this case, Silent, all truth be told, his contribution was an invitation, a guest in his home, and he invited us 4 times before I even really said yes or no. It took me a long time to really truly see if I really wanted to take that offer. However, when you are put in a foreign place and you don't know anything about your surroundings, it takes you a little time to get established, get your rhythm, figure out what your to-do list is, what you need to do, how you need to get yourself back out there on the job market and stuff like that in a whole new surroundings. And see, our host didn't take that into consideration. All he wanted was what he wanted when he wanted it, by his own admission. And I didn't have all my equipment to be able to record some of this shit, while we were having these discussions. But if I could have recorded it, I would have, so that I don't have to do all this talking. I could just replay it back to y'all and you see for yourself. But, I didn't get to be 45 being stupid, blind, dumb, and crazy. I know when someone is making an inappropriate advance. I know when someone is trying to groom and control and mentally manipulate me. And I know when someone has ulterior motives behind what they say they are going to do or will do. Now, if you don't want me to be honest with you, then don't try to fucking manipulate me, because I'm going to call you out just like I expect to be called out if I'm bullshit. But see, on that side of the coin, they couldn't call me out on any legitimate bullshit. It was petty, childish, elementary shit. Which was the tactic of the crazy making and the bullying and the programming and the grooming for mental and emotional control. It didn't work. And that's usually what the aggressors do, is then they start reaching for petty, elementary things to nitpick about. You forgot to lock the door. You forgot to shut the light off. You didn't wash the dishes in a timely fashion. There's a leaf that blew in the front door. You didn't sweep it up. They start to nitpick. And see, I'm at the point in my life now where I'm getting sick and tired of immature, time-wasting motherfuckers. Waste your time. Try to control how you spend your time. Yet all the while lying, saying that they support you. Now, this particular person have not reposted shit, which is free, okay? Reposted, shared, made a digital type of any type of support for the butterfly totem. The whole scenario was drawn out to be where, like the snake in Jungle Book said, trust in me. You know how he was in the tree, his eyes turned into pinwheels, and he hypnotized you and carry you over into the jungle. And before you know it, you in his tree with him singing and swaying to his lullaby. That's how the hell he tried to do us. Oh, it's better here, because there's a larger market for what you do here. And then that situation, you're going to save some money. True. As far as the market here, not sure. Never been here before, but I'm going to do the research. So in doing that, as soon as we hit the ground, I hit the ground running wherever I go. I start looking for a job if I don't have one, because I have many skills, many. And if I can't find a job, I'm going to use the skills I have to create a goddamn job, which is what I did in Fayetteville when I got laid off my position because it was an employee violation. I got laid off. It was a company-wide decision to take the for out. So we didn't have no control over that. So in turn, I could not collect unemployment, because one of the employees violated company policy and we all had to suffer for the shit. And in working for virtual telecommute positions for Fortune 500 companies, and you're dealing with sensitive client information or customer information, you have to be very careful how you conduct that information that you deal with, how you reveal certain information and who you share it with. So, being that one of the at-home telecommute workers in goddamn Bangladesh, yes, I said Bangladesh, breach security, we all got laid off. Everybody. We didn't have a vote. It wasn't no, well, everybody didn't do it, so everybody don't have to pay. They said, fuck this. They lost a lot of money and clients and business behind that. And then a lot of people's identity was compromised. So to cut the problem out altogether, they said, you know what? Everybody in the at-home virtual telecommute department, all of our virtual call center agents must go. And that's what happened. So you have to do what you have to do. You get your ass up and you go out looking for another job, and you use the resources you have until you can get better. So that's when I began to do my donation drive, and I began to discount my readings very, very much, deeply discounted, so that I could survive. If I'm struggling, I know if I charge $150 for a 2-hour reading, I know if I'm struggling, everybody else struggling. So I got to put my prices where they're more friendly, where people are more willing to come, if that makes motherfucking sense. It's called business strategies. So in doing all that, that's how we bumped into this invitation. And I ignored my self-trust. By taking this invitation from somebody who did not have any respect for me or my family, they just wanted to tap into my knowledge of the occult, so that they then in turn could use certain things and tactics for sexual manipulation of others, of women. And unorthodox, the most unrealistic requests of the occult energy work totally ignored the truth about the reality of why we do energy work. It starts with yourself first. That he didn't want to hear. And I can really go there and say some of the childish, elementary, odd shit that he expected me to do using energy work to manifest certain things. As a witch. And I explained honestly and upfront before we even exchanged made any transactions. Those requests are unrealistic. You can't just sprinkle gooba dust on some shit and then it automatically is renewed or different, or you can manifest stuff automatically with a snap of the fingers and a wave of a magic wand. It doesn't work that way. Yet he insisted it should. See, this is how you know you're dealing with somebody who is mentally unstable, damaged. So after finally weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of this, now he's supposed to be focused on his spiritual walk, but he's more focused on household tactics of manipulation, using household chores and tactics inside the home to control the environment while we trying to obtain employment, we trying to get our footing, we trying to explore the environment around us and the culture of the area, and get acquainted and familiarized with where we are This is what we went through on the daily. And like I said, I can support every fucking thing I say because I have communication directly from the horse's mouth. And when you make an agreement with someone, they expect you to uphold your end, but they feel they can violate their end of their agreement. That's another way you can tell somebody is mentally disturbed. It's called cognitive dissonance. It's really sad when people don't want to accept their own dysfunction. That's really unfortunate and sad to see. My mama is one of them also. I feel very, very sad for her because she's been stuck in delusion so long. This is her reality. And in order for her to acknowledge it would then require her to change and alter herself. And because of her pride and ego, she's not going to do that. And it's been illustrated to her time and time again by many different people, especially me. Because I had the most time with her, like I said before. And I'm the only one of 4 that has openly said it. So the other 3 secretly, have said it and admitted to it and pointed it out. But they can't tell her openly. That's that displaced loyalty that I speak of a lot. Displaced loyalty. If I tell my mother exactly how I feel or how she's treated me, or my childhood experiences were not all that bright, then she's going to cut me off, or she's going to look at me in a different light. See? And like I said, I don't enjoy doing these type of streams where I have to break down someone else's goddamn behavior because they can't accept their own dysfunction. I've told everybody online and off, I know I'm fucked up. That's why I'm working on me now. That's why I'm trying to heal myself and learn. Acknowledging the issues that I have so that I can correct them. And people take that for entertainment. They think it's a joke. When I say I got 7 motherfuckers up there in my head, that's all niggas do. Oh, that's so funny. I'm dead serious. I know if 2 through 5, 6 and 7 wake up, number 1 going to sleep. Hard to put 2 through 7 back to bed. So the one that you hear talking now is number 1. You don't want to meet 2 through 7. Because then felonies and shit start popping off. And I don't want that. I don't want my boys to see that shit. I don't want my grandbaby to see that shit. So I'm trying to keep number 1 in the driver's seat. And that's another sad fact about a lot of Black people is they don't take shit seriously. We don't take life seriously in general. We don't take our spirit seriously. And we just don't take life as a whole seriously. When someone tells you that they fucking crazy, you better believe what they say to you. That's why I couldn't understand that other nigga that came for me a couple of years ago with all them stupid ass fairy tales and lies. don't understand how to accept kindness. Kindness to you, and because it didn't pan out the way you wanted it to, now you gotta invent a pack of lies to save face because your ass stepped out of bounds, not me. So now you gotta do damage control. And that's what a lot of beta niggas do to black women. And some of y'all beta niggas wonder why we walk around with such fucked up dispositions. Because of this shit that I speak of right now. It ain't got nothing to do with mommy issues. A lot of times when I bump into these type of niggas, my attitude don't shift because of me. It shifts because I know what I'm going to encounter if this nigga open his mouth the wrong way and I don't want to hear it. And again, let me say, it's not gender specific. Bitches do it too. I can't say enough that North Carolina, in this area, is the city with no damn boundaries. People don't understand what personal boundaries are in this area. A lot of these motherfuckers don't know how to mind their own goddamn business to save their life. And I'm, like I said, I'm a very private person. I stay to myself. And I try to take the path of least resistance, the unbeaten trail. You know, I use the stairs. I don't take the elevator a lot unless I'm in a hurry. You know, I go at odd off-peak hours, places when it's not a lot of traffic out and about, pedestrian-wise or vehicular-wise. I try to strategize my errands to where if I have to food shop, it's late at night, hardly anybody in the store. I'm a very recluse person. And even then, trying to mind my own motherfucking business, it's going to be somebody somewhere that's going to push the envelope. They don't understand when you either ignore them or politely smile and walk away. They will fucking follow you to try to force you to communicate and connect with them. And when you tell them the truth, ain't that what most people say? Well, just be honest and say you don't want to talk. I don't want to be bothered right now, sir. Could you please stop following me? So they follow you and insult you while you telling them to leave you alone. But then you say black women walk around with these fucked up attitudes and we don't know why. Well, now you do. Just like this particular person that I'm describing now, our former house host, who calculated a plot, a plan, and a scheme, unbeknownst to his overbearing, meddlesome mammy, that he could use the occult to attract sexual encounters with women prior to using the occult to manifest his soulmate or his twin flame or his life partner, his wife. And I got all the communication to back it up, what I'm saying. And anybody that really knows me well, I don't fuck around like that. I don't do that shit. But you know, we living in the age and the era of download dirty shit. You know, and I did a reading for myself. I saw my third eye. I kept hearing voices muttering, mumbling, whispering. I'm like, that's always comes when somebody's talking shit about me behind my back. Lying. Including when LA is doing hangouts about me or any other sick tick out there. I know Don't nobody have to tell me shit. Just like I had to alley drag sirloin Kevin Smith sausage neck about his motherfucking lies all over the goddamn YouTube and over the internet because he couldn't stalk me and intimidate me online. So he had to begin to lie. When they can't hate, they lie. This is why I tell my young girls, and I used to tell my niece this all the time before I had to send her ass packing. You don't ever want to be solely dependent on another person. I don't care who it is, male or female. Because at any given time, they can utilize your resistance to their abusive tactics. They can use that against you and try to snatch the rug out from underneath you and keep you at a loss. You know, see, he thought he did something. Well, I'm get you out. Okay, fine, we'll leave. Put on this big old production. Okay, fine. Well, you know, we're going to gather our things and set up a tentative plan and go about our business. See, couldn't part ways and be amicable about it and try to work it out like an adult. There was more control exerted. You holding some property that belongs to me. So if you want us out of your establishment, then return the belongings and we can go about our business. See, because he's used to his mama kicking up all kind of shit and confusion behind him, his refusal to comply to her. That's what he's used to. So he thought we were going to in turn act like his mama when she's told no. She did the same thing to me when I told her no. She kicked up all kind of sand, called me all out my name for no reason, had only met me 5 minutes prior to calling me a bitch. Don't know nothing about me, but all of a sudden, I'm all this and all that. And all I did was say, I'm not entitled to explain anything to you, especially with the way that, you know, you approach me. You know, I don't have to. And you're not going to take me out of character with all this extra drama that you're doing. This extra stereotypical female bitch shit. But because I wouldn't get into a shouting match and act all unseemly and ugly about it, that made me the bitch because, you know, I didn't conform and comply to her demands. See? So let this be a warning, everybody. Especially spiritualists like myself. Always, always trust your gift. Always. Always trust your gift. I don't care if it's a small twinge of a warning, huge sign that you get. That's why we use our tools. That's why we have tools of divination, you know. And something really weird happened while I was there, you know. Because I had done energy cleansing. And I lit one candle. I put it down inside of a peanut can. And I set it specifically in a specific place so that it would not have a risk of igniting anything. Wind blowing, sparks, anything. Nothing else in that room was lit. I stepped outside to have a cigarette for 3 minutes, and the side of the bed where I had my overnight. I had like a little carry-on bag. It was handmade from overseas, from the Middle East. And I had my tarot cards in there. It was hanging on the bedpost. So somehow that bag and its contents was ignited. A little bit of a damage. And I know for certain I never had no accident. No, never had that happen to me before. Never had that happen to me before. And it was so odd how that bag was ignited into flames. It was just so weird and odd. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I said, wow, something is trying to fuck me up. Now, what if I had been sleeping in that bed? Or what if we hadn't been at the home or something like that? And that was a sign that things started taking a turn for the worse after that accidental fire. And I was just in enough time to be able to line up some alternate options before he decided to do the old Statue of Liberty play on us. Because after Nisi Poo left, he ensured us everything was cool. He was going to, quote unquote, call off the dogs. Or what did he say, B? Call off the horses. Is that what he said? So he abruptly quieted down with the complaints and the control tactics. So for 5 days, it was quiet. Out of the 6 weeks we were there, it was quiet for 5 days. And then all of a sudden he decided, oh, I'm going to serve you with eviction papers. So we complied. We left. He made a big dramatic scene, had the sheriff come escort him out of his own home. Why? I don't know. Because we were all quiet and asleep before. I woke up that morning, start my first day at work, with him knowing that I have virtual connects. My network and the way to make money for me is online. So that was the one thing he did to try to, to continue to harass me with, was disconnecting the internet. Oh, now she can't make money. So now I have a reason why I can call her a bum broke bitch. So I'll take away her ability to make money or contact any of her people or any of her network inside her network. So then I can have a way to make myself the victim by saying she refused to comply. She didn't do this and she didn't do that. But when you foster an environment that's impossible to function in and focus in and do business in, it's easy to say the other person didn't hold up to their end of the bargain, isn't it? When you alter the environment and extract peace from the environment and make it a difficult and sabotage someone's right to privacy and a right to access their income and make a living, then it's easy to say, you know what, this bitch didn't do what the fuck she said she was gonna do. So, people don't think fat meat is greasy, and they think that the occult and psychics are novelties and fake. But ever since the day that we left that place, I could hear in my mind's eye, and in my mind's cave of intuitive connection, I could just hear voices behind my back, and then weird shit started to happen. Somebody that I have been connected to for years on social media blocked me, which is usually the first thing. And I'm like, why would this person just block me out the blue? We ain't had no words. We ain't fell out. I don't know this person to be petty. Okay, somebody must be talking shit again. Okay. And I kept going, you know what? I don't think this person is that low to do that. And then something said, you second guess your intuition once with this person already. Don't do it again. So I kept looking at the cards, looking at the things that I use to confirm what I feel and see and hear. And always it comes in threes. The third source was confirmation. Got confirmation out the blue. With one sentence, I got confirmation out the blue. So if you want to play dirty, and you know who I'm talking to, I'm talking directly to the source now. You want to be a backbiting, two-faced bitch, you better be careful. Because everything that I just stated in this video, I can prove it. Now, your motherfucking lawyer threw out the first case fucking with me. Okay? He threw that shit out. So you need to take heed to why your own attorney that you retained dismissed the goddamn case. Okay? Take heed to that warning. That's warning number 2 for fucking with a witch. All right? Now, people want to dig into the occult for their own selfish reasons, and they think that the rules don't apply to them just because they dibbling and dabbling and they really don't know what they doing. They think they untouchable, but that shit still applies to you when you cross a witch and it's unjustifiable. This motherfucker didn't believe me 2 years ago when I said don't fuck with me and don't piss off a witch, and I really don't have to do anything to you because karma will do it. All right? I don't have to do shit. I don't have to do a goddamn thing. And you better be careful of how you falsely accuse me of whatever the fuck has happened to you now. Because I am busy doing what I fucking said I was going to do, which was building my butterfly totem, trying to get my family back into a more stable residence. Okay? Now, if you want to keep hopping around from person to person, tattletaling on me like a bitch, be careful. Careful. Because just like your attorney advised you in that fucking courthouse, December 8th, you can get your ass into more trouble with this bullshit now. All right? I don't have to do underhanded backdoor shit to get back at anybody for trying to shit on me. I don't need revenge. I don't believe in that shit. I want to seek out to get revenge on people because that's a first sign of guilt. Guilty if you need to get revenge and you doing little backdoor shit to get back at somebody. You got guilt. You suffering from guilt if you think that's what you need to do. That's what guilty motherfuckers do. They got to run around the community telling on everybody that did them wrong. Because that's the first fucking thing you did to me with the women in your past prior to meeting me. Okay? You thought your money could buy free access to control those women. And when it didn't work, you decided you wanted to sue to get your fucking money back. Not twice, not 4 times. So if you want to go around trying to slander and libel me, projecting onto me what you're doing, your behavior is what you're projecting onto me now. And if you really want to get funky with it, you are not that important to me for me to want to get revenge on, okay? This little shit that you did, I grew up in a house where I was put out every other fucking day as a child, okay? As a child, all right? I have been put out of worse places by better people. I'm just letting you know. So I don't have the need to go behind nobody's back and talk shit about them, especially people that I barely know. Especially people that I barely know myself. What would it gain me to go to somebody that I barely know and talk shit about somebody else that they barely know? Guilt. So I can openly talk about what happened because I got the receipts, as these niggas say on here now. I have proof to back up whatever the fuck I say. And I will show it if you really want to continue to play these damn games. You wanted us out because you couldn't control, micromanage us, which by any stretch of the imagination is illogical and outrageous to expect another grown adult to let you micromanage your every move, whether you live under their roof or not. And I said this to your fucking face long before we left. I also put it in a text message and an email for you. So when you rewind that goddamn clock and chain of events, you need to rewind it and include every fucking thing that went down factually and stop playing the fucking victim. And stop projecting. I don't have no fucking damage control to do. I don't have nothing to lose by telling factually what happened in this situation, whether it be in private or in public, because I am not ashamed of shit that I do. You need to rewind it and include at all. Am I ashamed of shit? Because I don't need to lie. So, y'all, take it from me firsthand. Trust yourself. Even when you think there's no way out and you feel backed up against the wall, like I did in Fayetteville. I felt backed up against the wall. And after being invited several times, I said, you know what? Maybe I'd be kind of foolish not to try. Because I do need a little bit of a head start. Because the employer that I originally got after my layoff took 2 months to get back to me and finally give me my credentials to log in and virtually work online. It was just a string of really fucked up things that was going down. And I know it was pride because of the prior tangle that I had in threes with them 3 motherfuckers from 2 years ago, started by one nigga that didn't get his fucking way with me online, of all places. And he needed 2 bitches to help him try to find some dirt so that then he can turn around and expose me. Kind of like what this dusty bitch LA is up to now. Or trying to do. With some damn information from 6 years ago. Because he got a nigga growing on his lip. The gift that keeps on giving. And he's blowing up like the fucking Goodyear blimp. Looking like Alf with no hair. Fucking with somebody that's way out of their league. Don't even have an education. Let alone talking about somebody broke. I can get up right now and go somewhere and make some money, which is what I just did earlier. Okay. I am without a home and a car, but I still can make money. And that's what I'm doing now. Every fucking day I make money, just like I did every fucking day in Fayetteville before I moved to a different city with no job. I still made money, bitch. So let me see what you can do besides sit and talk shit and get in my fucking business online, hoe ass nigga. So anyway, better be careful how you tread when you start to slander people. That goes for anybody that want to try it or continue to try it. Because I keep everything. I have all the communication from start to finish on the situation that I just visited. So if you want to lie, you better make sure your lie is believable. Because you slandering me is not going to help the situation at all. It's going to make it worse. All right? So you set us back a whole nother 3, 4, 5 months with this bullshit. Not one time did I ever say I was not going to do what I said I would do. You said it. I didn't. Not one time did I ever say I am not going to uphold my end of the agreement. Not one time do you hear me or have me in writing or otherwise saying that. You retracted the agreement not even a week into our stay in your fucking house with all of this goddamn micromanagement and all the fucking crazy making gaslighting behaviors you did to make it unlivable, which is why I offered to leave 3 days after we got there. So tell the whole truth, okay? Tell the whole truth. And stop running around playing victim. Because it makes you look like a bitch, not me. You are going around attempting to slander and libel me. Not the other way around. I don't have shit to prove to nobody. You do. I don't have anything to win. I don't have control issues. You do. So whenever something go down with me and somebody else, I don't have to run around to other people and discuss the shit. Do I have a confidant? Yes, but I don't need to go around, oh child, look at what happened to me today. I don't do shit like that. I don't have to, because I know my choices got me into the situation that I'm in. And I know I have to make better choices to get myself out of the situation that I got in. Nobody can help me better than me. See, I know that about myself. Whether I have a lot of money, whether I have a job, whether I have a car, whether I have material, anything, I know my worth and my capabilities. So I don't have to know that there's a check coming in next week, because I know I can get out here and hustle and still legally make money. Before or after being in your house. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't let these motherfuckers get it twisted with you. People think just because they sitting up on a disability settlement or they got a couple of dollars rolling in, they can manipulate and navigate and use that as a pawn to lure you into their fucking trap, to be able to manipulate and use you for whatever it is they got ulterior motives for. Always trust yourself, fam. Always trust yourself first. Take it from me. I fucked up and I trusted somebody who I thought had pure intentions for me and my family. You know, they presented themselves as this positive, caring person and poured on the sugar. And that's usually how it goes, because that's how the other nigga did to me too. Poured the sugar on, blew all kind of smoke up my ass for months. And then as soon as the shit hit the fan and he couldn't get what he wanted to get, he had to use all this shaming tactics and public exposure, trying to expose me for something that I'm not, and had to use somebody that was closest to me, that I knew longer than him. At least I thought I did. Had to use people close to me to try to bring me down, so to speak. And that's exactly what this motherfucker is doing here now, the one that I just spoke of. Trying to use people that are close to me to get to me and lying about it. Now, I don't need to retain a lawyer because I am a third year law student and I have a little bit of knowledge about how civil court goes. And I've been educating myself a lot here lately since I've been in this fucked up ass area that you brought us to. So you can fuck around if you want to and keep on trying to passively aggressively harass me. There's legal ramifications for that shit. And you can have more damages that you have to pay me over and above what I owe you, bitch nigga. Now you keep fucking with me and my family and my business and my character and my hard work, I can show you better than I can tell you. So y'all, please, forgive me for this ugly shit because I don't like this. I don't like having to put people on blast on Front Street, dragging dirty laundry out in the public. That's just so beneath me. It is. And it makes me feel like shit to have to go there and do this. But people they just don't understand decorum, backing away with grace and class and letting it go. You know what I'm saying? Let it go. I'm cool. I never said I wasn't going to do what I said I was going to set out to do. Never did I deny any of the things that are on my plate that I agreed to. Never once did I say I would not fulfill my end of the agreement. This motherfucker is going around saying the opposite. So I had to say something. I can't stand when people lie for no reason just because they're pissed. I can't stand when people invent shit and add and subtract to a chain of events instead of going on the facts. That's just exactly. I felt like I was growing up inside my mama's house all over again. I'm glad we out of there. So I'm going to make this the first and last time that I publicly address this dumb shit because I have shit to do and I have a whole family to take care of and get to a safer housing situation due to this shit that I fucked up and make the wrong decision for. So once I get my family to safety, you hoe ass nigga, that's when you'll get your end of the bargain met. Had you not broke the agreement that we had orally, you wouldn't be in the salty ass mind state you're in now. And to micromanage me and mine and staying in your lane, the same shit your mammy do. Had you not did that, we would be well on our way to accomplishing the oral agreement we set out to do. Dumb bitch nigga. So, now, I'm trying not to act ugly no more after this regarding this. And y'all, if you still around listening to all this shit, thank you for showing up. Always trust yourself. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. Y'all be good to yourself and each other. Reach and keep striving to live your highest good. And believe you me, this is the first and last time I ever accept an invitation to the midst of the unknown with someone who is mentally touched and damaged. So, hurt people because he feels slighted. He has to go around to people who mean something to me or he think means something to me and slander my name. Now, not one time have I said anything negative about this nigga to anybody else until my confirmation this morning woke me up out my damn sleep. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's how we gonna play it, petty motherfucker. Just like I said to your face, you're petty. So like I said, let me repeat it another time slow, nigga. As soon as I get my family back on our feet and to safety, I will uphold my end of things. Bitch. So that's what a lot of people do. They think just because, they make you mad and you an upstanding person, it's hard to accept that you're an upstanding person. So they gotta fuck with you to test the water and push you to see if you will drop the end of your rope, so to speak, if you'll go back on your word. So now that agreement that we had is on hold, bitch, until I take care of me first. I'm taking care of me and mine first because you delayed the process of what we had in motion. That could have worked out fine if your ass had stuck to your end of the agreement before any of this. Making assumptions and allegations and putting your nose into my personal affairs that ain't none of your damn business. Because when I made my first submission to you, in good faith, upholding my end, it was to cover part of what I owed you and upcoming expenses. And I kept telling you throughout the whole journey, I don't got no money. I don't want to rack my bill up too high. But here you are, being the infant-minded nigga that you are. Twisting up shit, lying around to everybody else, you who will listen, trying to drive a wedge between the people that I have good connections with and have had good connections with for a long time. How dare you? See, I don't have to do that to you. And then I can't anyway because you don't have the same type of connections I do. And see, that's another telltale sign. They come for you and your people, your network, your circle of your cipher. They come for you. They can't go to their own. They got to come try to turn your positive energy into negative and destroy everything else around you after they didn't already try to destroy you and it didn't work. So then they come for people that they think is close to you and respect you. And then they say, oh yeah, well, I'll fix you. Now, if I'm such a liar and a fraud, how come I'm not running around telling everybody back to back to back to back to back what done happened? I did what I came to do. I did it. You didn't like it. You wasn't able to control me and mine and harness my children and practice on them and groom them like your mama groomed you. I wouldn't allow it. So our punishment was being put out. So we gracefully left. I got receipts to support that too. Left your shit cleaner than it was when we got there. Mr. Paranoid, I gotta lock up everything in the house in a room when I got a whole storage full of shit, the same shit you got in your house. So fuck what I need your shit for. Everybody ain't trifling like your mama and you are. Because I know if the shoe was on the other foot and you was in my house, I'm sure you would have tried to take some shit from me. Regardless if you collecting a monthly check or not. Sitting on a settlement that you scammed the insurance company on. Don't fuck with me, okay? I know all about it. So while you think you're doing something by lying to other people about what really happened, it's a whole lot of shit that can come crumbling down on top of you too, legally. And by all rights and privileges, I'm a mandated reporter for the shit that you did and got away with. So I warned you in the beginning, be careful. We go our separate ways. And once I get my family back right, I never, ever, ever rejected my end of the agreement. You did. And you telling everybody else that lie. So unless you can prove what the fuck you say, you need to watch your motherfucking mouth. Because I don't have no reason to slander you. All I got to do is tell the truth. All of it. And if you want me to go in detail, I can do that too. So, you want to make this public and uglier than it already has been? Or we can move on separately in peace. And you can leave me the fuck alone long enough to get my family square again. Saying I'll be more than happy to uphold my end of the oral agreement that we originally set out to do. It's funny how none of my other clients from 2009 up to now have any problem with any of the energy work I've done, any of the readings I've done. And I have 5-star reviews on my personal page, just like I did when I worked for a psychic website for 5 years. Those are posted too. So I don't have to fraud nobody, bitch nigga. There are people in other countries that seek me out for a reading. When you build it, they come. So don't overvalue yourself to me by trying to dissect my past videos that I made in the past couple of days. You ain't that motherfucking important, okay? Like I told that other beta nigga, you checking for me. I have not initiated shit with you since December 2nd. Anything that you've been going through since then, that's all on you. Your karma is coming down. I ain't have to lift a fucking finger. So whatever's happening to you, whatever you got going on in your life that's bothersome or troublesome, think back. Think back on what you did to other people. Maybe that's them. But I don't have to seek no type of vengeance on nobody. So y'all people, I'm so sorry you had to witness that ugly, but I feel it was necessary to send a message. And please excuse my ugliness and having to stoop to this level. This will be the first and last time that I do this shit ever again. Because A, I'm too old. B, my grandbaby don't really need to see this shit later on in life. And C, life is just too short. I have other bigger fish to fry, and I have set myself back fucking around with a person who is mentally touched. Okay? And I try not to mention names and all that because it's just so ugly. It's just too ugly. So this is why I tried my best to stay out of shit, especially with these dusty Klingon leeches that's been stalking me. Genie, the Wolfpack, for years. These niggas been at it with us, trying to find some vice, some way into slander, discredit, demean, disrespect us. Ongoing. Same thing over and over again, different results. LA is a prime example of the same type of nigga that I just described. Same shit. Ain't do shit to him. Refuse to allow him to disrespect me. Checked him on it. Now he's got a vendetta. There you go. Proof is in the pudding. Online and offline, these niggas do it. That's why I don't understand why it's so hard for them to accept their own fucking behavior. You got Vic over there fucking with Jeannie, because we cool. We're truly friends. And whatever she do, whatever I do, we respect that about each other. These miserable niggas can't stand to see black women happy, can't stand to see black women progress, can't stand to see black women get along with each other, can't stand to see black women ignore their ass, can't stand to see anything positive coming out of a black woman's aura, because they themselves are miserable, low frequency niggas. Hurt people. So if I can't get your attention, if I can't make you fight with me, if I can't step on you in some way and debase and discredit you, then I'm going to lie and shit on you and run around and spread rumors. While we over here living our life, I'm in the middle of a very serious situation trying to fix it again because I didn't trust myself. Personal accountability. Jeannie doing her thing, making her money, taking care of her whole family. And all these niggas can do is sit up here and talk about her white husband, his phallus, what they doing in their bedroom, in their marital relationship, talking about me, talking about anybody that is visible to them at the moment. Running around starting shit. Don't have a goddamn thing to offer to nobody but a bunch of headache, heartache, stress. And didn't want to come about some 5-year-old fundraiser that I did for myself to help myself a negative situation, which ain't none of his motherfucking business. Let shit go. Like I took something from him by razor and he over there sucking the phallus of an unknown person and they doing the same damn thing repeatedly. I don't see no problem in that person living off of other people's dying and lying to the public. It ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's something wrong with me having an SOS trying to do the righteous thing for my family and ask for help. Just got to dig all up in something, even if it's ancient history. This nigga can't just mind his own fucking business. And it's something that was done on my behalf. He can't fathom that. Nobody would do that for me. So what the fuck this bitch got this other bitch asking for money for her for? I don't have put marinate strings on people. And it ain't none of your fucking business if it didn't come out of your pocket or off your platform. Why you worried about it? You can't expose somebody with shit that they make public. Dumb bitch. So, I went on damn long enough on this toxic shit. So always trust yourself, especially my spiritualists. My brothers and sisters is out here doing the thing with their spiritualist journey. Watch out for these too good to be true motherfuckers. You know, they start off bearing gifts and all this shit, and they swear that it's all just, you know, a positive a token of appreciation, something positive to brighten your day, and it's all got a hidden motive to it. You know, I've had people send me lovely things, and never did they hold the shit over my head because they couldn't control me or my time. Jeannie just talked about this shit with another YouTuber. But people don't want to see it. They want to close their eyes to the truth. They want to be sung a lie, you know. Want to be a lullaby, given a lullaby, pacified. You rather believe a lie than the ugly, unadulterated truth. Can't make this shit up. But somebody come lie in your ear. Oh, yeah, that sounds even better than the truth. Yeah, oh, that's even worse. A lie make it sound worse. Because it's crazy. Just like I always say. So, family, forgive this ugly, ugly, ugly shit I had to do again with a total different nigga this time. Because they don't know how to back away gracefully. And these motherfuckers out here talking about black women act like bitches. Really? This is the biggest bitch shit that I have ever witnessed on YouTube since I've been on here. Niggas so thirsty that they feel like they can buy online coochie with ulterior motives. Oh, well, let me help you out. Let me help your family out. Let me become one of your clients. I need help learning about the spiritual journey and the occult. Okay, so let me help you. Then when I call your motherfucking bluff and bust your ass out, your actions speak louder than your words. None of your actions match any of your words, nigga. So who are you to call anybody a motherfucking liar? And what I should be focusing on. I should be focusing on this instead of that. I noticed she could come up with money for this instead of that. Bitch, the agreement was once a month. So if I come up with any money in between the months, the first of the month of each month, spend on me. That's what the fucking agreement was. Dumb nigga. Until you started changing up shit and inventing shit, phantom issues in your mind, making bad matters worse. Trying to help a family, but you making the situation more stressful for the family that was already in distress. Dumb bitch. So you can lie to Lance. You can lie to anybody else that used to watch me, watches me now, will watch me. You could do whatever you want to try to slander me and disparage my reputation and my character, but just know that it's consequences to it. You ain't gonna be another nigga that get away with it, okay? I didn't let no other nigga get away with it, and I'm not gonna let you get away with it. So if this makes me a bad person, so be it. If this makes me a bitch, So be it. I'd rather be a upstanding bitch and an honest bitch and a strong-minded bitch with my own mind than to be a weak bitch and let somebody like you bully me just because I'm in a vulnerable situation. I'm supposed to bow down and suck your nuts from behind. Sorry, not sorry. So challenge me again, test me again, and let something else come out the woodwork that I done found out you lying and fucking spreading rumors and lies about me. I'm gonna let it all hang out because I got times, dates, documents, and proof of every fucking thing I say. Only got to say it once. I don't have to make 900 fucking videos. I don't have to send 855 different electronic messages to motherfuckers to get my point across. Just like I told that other weak ass bitch, keep talking. You gonna let your mouth talk your ass up into something that you did not bargain for? Because I'm not none of these groupie ass bitches on your channel slobbering over your live stream. Nigga, you was checking for me. I'm not the one who invited myself up here to this area and then tried to put myself in a moldy ass house full of goddamn mold spores and sickness and filth. That was the first lie you told, was that particular option. Oh, that's in good condition. If you would live there, you go right ahead and move in there. I don't see you jumping at the chance to visit to a property that's damn near foreclosed on. I wouldn't let my dog Belle live in a place like that. Well, by any standard. And that's why you offered it, so that the nuclear chain would be fall back into your home, and then you would have us under your thumb. See, that's the part that you don't want to acknowledge and own up to. But everybody around in that area that I interviewed confirmed the shit. So I don't have to talk no more. With that being said, y'all, peace, one love, one unity, one family. I'm out.